Hi, and thanks for joining me in my shop. What I'm going to be doing today is attempting to glue this belt onto the outside of this wheel. Now, it's been quite a while since I worked on the record player that had this wheel in it. I spent a lot of time trying to find a solution to the problem. The problem is this wheel is about a millimeter not wide enough. The diameter has either shrunk or this isn't the actual original wheel that comes with the record player that it has come out of. And I cannot find a replacement. It's an unusual brand of record player. And maybe if I hunted long enough I might be able to find a replacement, but there's a lot of issues with these dimensionally. There's the size of the shaft that has to be perfect. There's some dimensions here you can kind of see. So when you set this down, it's held up a certain height. There's the width of this piece, and of course the diameter is the one I'm having trouble with. So trying to fix the original is actually a fairly practical way to go, unless you can get an exact replacement. And it looks like I can't. Or I will end up buying many of these and finding out they're all not quite the right one. So to glue this on, there's another couple of challenges that come with it. One is when it's on, there can't be any bumps or imperfections in the surface. I can't have this bumpy with glue or something like that. And also, I'm going to have to obviously cut this into the right length. That's a bit of a challenge right there. And then join it here at the ends in such a way that there's no gap, that again, as the wheel is working in the record player, it goes thud-ump, thud-ump, thud-ump every time it goes over this joint. So these are all the things I've been thinking about. The other thing is the recommended glue for this, recommended, and I don't know who's recommending it, this is what I've kind of concluded, is, believe it or not, crazy glue. Cyanocrylate or something like that is what it actually is called. And of course this stuff's not very forgiving. When I go to use it and I stick this belt on and I start having trouble while I'm doing it, I have the feeling I'll end up with a mess and potentially will ruin this. Once I've ruined this, I'm really in trouble for this record player. So I've never done anything like this before. I have to figure out how to do it the way that's least risky in doing it. One would be to practice on another wheel, but I really don't have one I can sacrifice away like that. So I kind of have to do it on here. The width of this belt is just about perfect. If I get it glued on nicely, I don't need to worry about trimming it or anything. I can just leave it, I think. It's very close. And because of the dimension here and here, the rubber part is actually riding above the bench here. So if I put this just on the bench, it's actually going to go low. It's not going to be lined up properly on the edge. So that's kind of a operational challenge. My thinking is, to solve the bump at the joint, I will cut this on an angle so the pieces, so the ends kind of overlap a little bit, so it won't be a sudden end to one, start to the other side. It'll be kind of a gradual thing. And getting that exactly right, I'm not sure. A couple things I've thought is to cut this to the right size and start by gluing the open ends down. Like wrap this around, and then where the ends are, glue it. I can get an end on there right now. Let's just snip it straight across for now. That's how I plan to solve that. This has a natural curve in it. Don't fight the curve. But you can see what's happening. It's falling underneath it and that. So I can't work on a surface like this. But I did come up with an alternate surface. Here it is. Just a shoebox, cardboard shoebox. What I'm planning on doing is just cutting a hole, so all this lower part will just fall in the hole, and then the rubber part will be flush on the cardboard. Then I can bring this up and not be so worried about it not being lined up properly. So I don't have to cut a very very neat hole here. Just have to cut a hole. Well, it's definitely not a neat hole, is it? It's about as ugly as they come. But that works. Now it's flat. Actually, see, it's just a hair too wide, a little hair wider than the wheel. The belt is a hair wider than the wheel, one hair. That may not mean anything, or maybe I'll have to trim it in the end. But if I have to trim it, so be it. I can't do that ahead of time. There's just no way I can trim something like this. So we'll go ahead with it. I'm also thinking if I can kind of get it tacked on, maybe glue it at the cut ends here and get it tacked on so it's just kind of hanging on. I can then take the glue and just run it around the edge here very carefully and kind of glue the edge in rather than trying to put super glue all through here. Bring this up, oh, it's stuck now, you know, that kind of thing. I think it's better if I try to tack. Now another way would be I could gotta work this out. Hey, you're watching me work this out. If I could tack it here just to hold the thing in place while I get these ends done. Another thing I was thinking about was in order to cut the ends to fit perfectly, you could overlap this like so. Take a pair of scissors and cut through there, and if you cut, no matter what angle you cut on or what you do, the two pieces are going to match perfectly like a puzzle parts. Except, how do I get this dimension exactly right to do that? So I, you know, I guess I can pull some tension on this too. If I tack down one, let's see, if I were to tack down one end. Let's say I've cut it and I've done my best to cut it the right length and on an angle. I tack down one end and then I can pull on this a little bit. I don't want to pull too much. Wow, of course, you know, if it's cut here, I've got, you know, I'm hanging on to this now, but if I cut this off, there's nothing to hang on to. I'd literally have to bring it around. Wow. Okay, another possibility is I could put it like this, glue it here and here. That'll let me know if the glue is working too. I'll find out early. But leave these ends hanging out like that, and then carefully, bit by bit, manipulate them and cut them into the right shape and position. With it tacked here, holding the bulk of the, you know, I could tack it here, here, maybe one spot over here, just a little bit of glue. A little bit of super glue goes a long way. And cut one end, I could even cut one end on an angle, like I plan, glue it right down. Come all the way around, glue, 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 on a permanent basis. And then at that point, solve the end very carefully. Wow, but if I mess up the end, I'm going to want to try this again. I got enough belt here. I got more belts too. I got enough belt here. I can do this 2 or 3 times. But not if I glued it all over the place. So it sounds to me like some judicious tacking. Leave both ends hanging like this. Cut long. Then take this, I'll be able to pick it up and manipulate it in my hand because it will be tacked on. Maybe use an X-Acto knife or something. At that point I could do the overlap. I could do this. I could overlap them. Like that. And I could cut there. fact, I could do that right now. I could cut it right now, and if I pulled a little bit of stretch into it, then I have the option of pulling it and pushing it. Except again, I won't have anything to pull on. There won't be any. I'd have to pull it from back here. But if I've tacked it here, I can't pull it anymore. And if I need to pull this to make the ends match, I want that pull to be spread out around here. I don't want it all happening in the last, you know, because I tacked it here, I've only got this much rubber to stretch. I don't want that to happen. So that sounds more like don't tack it anywhere. Try to cut it just like I have it now. Actually, this is pretty good. I got a pretty good grip on it. Let me just take an X-Acto knife and just saw it. You know, if I blow it, I have more belt here, and I haven't glued anything, so I'm not stuck. That's your morning joke there. It also gives me a chance to center it this way and that way before applying any glue. You know, here's another idea. I could take it like this. Assuming I got this on just kind of the right way. Now, this is a dumb idea, but I'll go through with it, because sometimes the dumb ideas lead you to the best ideas. You could throw a little glue here. That's the dumb part. Tack this on. Now it's kind of solid. Now all I got to do is just cut. But the problem is I'd have glue up here. Pull that off. I glued it on. That's dumb. Okay, so the least committal way to do this is to try to cut this to the right length right now. No glue. I've never used, I always thought super glue had to be used on materials that contained water, like molecular water. A lot of materials do. So pottery and stuff like that, super good. Skin, super good because of the moisture in it. Apparently eyelids, really good. But something without H2O in it or water in it, this glue won't grip. I don't know if that's really true. The rubber has moisture in it. I guess everything does to some degree. Okay, let's try cutting this and we'll see what happens. I don't even want to let go of it now. Where's my... Great. I think my X-Acto knives are... I don't think they're in here. Wait a moment. Okay, I have to put it down. Yeah, gotta go find my knives here. Okay, let's see if I can cut this to the right length. Which I think I need to put just a touch of stretch into it, not too much. Cut it with just a touch of stretch. If this is too long and I try to stick it on, I'm only going to find out, I think, as I try to bring it around and make the joint, and then I'm going to have excess to try to, you know, work back in, and it's going to be trouble. So I think I need to stretch this just a wee bit here. Yikes. Once I put a little stretch into it, it kind of grips the wheel and stays on. It won't fall off so easily. Okay, well, with that in mind, let's put a little stretch into it. Oops. Come on. That's too much. There we go. I think I need a huge angle here. 45 would do the trick. I'm trying to preserve as much of the belt as possible in case I got to do this 10 times. Can't really see here. There we go. doing. I look like Rick Wakeman in here sometimes, reaching across to my computer mouse, and that's actually not as good a camera shot anyway, is it? Stick with that one. Okay. Okay, nothing else is coming into my head, so let's cut. What the top is going to go flopping off. Wow. Okay. If I grab this now, try to keep it pinched, lay it flat, and cut on here. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, look. Doesn't look like there's any. Ah, I've lost control of the whole thing here. Okay, a little stretch in here. Let the stretch kind of work around. Perfect. There we go. Cut, maybe. There. Now, I didn't cut this, but I put a mark on it, so I'm going to cut it on the mark. It's not what I wanted to have happen. Angle's important here. There we go. How'd we do? Without pulling it at all. It's like quite a bit of a gap there. It doesn't take much pull though. Close her up nice. Okay. Wow, very tricky. Tacking that on there. So to tack that on there, what I do, take this off. So I have no tensions. No tensions. Yes, pay no attention to that election, lest ye be absorbed by tension. It's a little hard to manipulate this, what's on here. Maybe I should clamp the wheel into something when I'm working on it like this. Let's give that a try. Okay, so clamp the wheel, how am I going to get the rubber around it? You know what, I don't need it here. I can just have it laying here. See, I gotta make sure the wheel is exposed at the bottom here. That's as far down as it can go. You know, the little rubber's gonna have trouble going through the jaws. It's slightly wider than the. Yeah, it's gonna cause trouble. Come out of there! Looking for the wheel and sphere in the clamp. You know, when you're doing something for the first time, it makes sense to hesitate a lot. Now when I go to apply the glue, I was thinking, okay, I'll put a little glue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stuck. Dried. Too late. Ruined. Okay. Another one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stuck there just fine. Okay, I bring this around. Glue. Stick it. Fine. Now, it'll be stuck potentially like that. Put a little dab of glue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blew it. I almost got there. In case you're wondering what I'm counting down the length of time before the glue is unworkable. In case that wasn't apparent. Okay, well, what if I can kind of hold this in place somehow? What if I get this in the right spot, clamp it like that, like I'm doing with my finger. Glue, 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 glue. Wait. Let go. That sounds like a good way to do it. That sounds like a really good way to do it. It's a question of how to clamp it. How do you clamp it? Hey Jed, how do you clamp it? Okay. How would I clamp that there? There's a tiny little gap I can see too. So even this isn't quite good. If I glue one side down, glue it down, it's taken care of. Now my problem is cut in half. I only have one side to worry about. So this one, so let's say I clamp this right here somehow. I clamp it here. The other side glued. Put a little stretch in it, make sure everything's great, because if it's a clamp I can do it and undo it all I like. And when I'm happy, dab a little glue, push this down. That seems to be the way to go. Glue one end down, bring the other end around, clamp it in place, apply the glue. Presto. Presto. What kind of clamp have I got that's going to work on this? It's got to be this big. There's no hope of this. Okay, I gotta go figure out the clamping deal here. Okay, let's give this a go. Step 1, try to use an elastic band to clamp this. Clamp the one end. Right. Right. Thank God we've got hands. You know, human beings without hands, we'd be pretty much nowhere. So the elastic band, when I put it on, is a little out of balance. It's just dragged it over here. Okay. That's kind of got it. Still dragging it over. Okay. Then we would bring the other end around. Ooh, what do I do? Go over that? Or go over that or go under it. It's increasing the diameter a little bit there. Bring this around. It's about a 1/16 of an inch gap, maybe even less. Oh, it depends which way you wiggle this. Huh. Okay, so it doesn't have to match perfectly in terms of length. I can cheat a little bit with a bit of wiggling there. Well, if I get it underneath, there's no problem in terms of getting the wrong dimensions here. Maybe I don't need glue, I'll just leave the elastic band for good. Maybe that'll do it. Okay. So this is the guy I would glue down at this point. And I'll try to manipulate this other edge to meet it. There it is, looking good. Okay, my palms are a little sweaty because I know the moment of truth is coming. Crazy glue, you're the man. Oh, this one's never been opened. I thought I had one that was already open here. This one. It's probably gone hard. It's done. Okay, start with a new, fresh one. Okay, we're ready. Try off my hands here. Okay, I think the best thing I can do is put a drop right in here. Actually back here just a little bit. And then just pull that onto it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody ready? Glue my fingers to it. Bring this over. 2, 3, 4. Don't stretch too hard. 5. Don't put your finger there. It didn't get lined up beautifully there. How long? How long you gotta wait? Where's the instructions? Oops. Yeah, right. Can you read the instructions? See, it's about looks. Oh, you can actually read them on here. It's the French part. May irritate eyes and skin. I think I see 15 seconds in there. What do I see? I don't know. Can I read it? Okay, we'll give it lots of time here. It's supposed to happen instantaneously, isn't it? I still remember when Crazy Glue came on the market. It was, I don't want to say a shocker, but it was something different, that's for sure. Okay, how'd we do? Oh yeah, that's glued on there all right. That's got it. Don't fool with it, Jim. Don't fool with it. Now, the next game now is to match these ends up. Okay, at this point, I pulled this a little bit far. Pull this back a little bit. Wow, this is not as easy as I thought. I think I'm just going to have to kind of butt it together and go like that. I don't want any slack, any bumps or humps. I can get a hump in here like that. I don't want a hump. Glue down one side all the way. That's the way to do it. Glue down one side all the way. I spent quite a bit of time thinking about this before coming in here and trying it. Okay, there we go. Now the other side. Just gone kind of wonky here. It's gone kind of... When I tugged on it, I kind of messed it up, I think. Wow, okay, there's a lot of stretch now in the side I glued. I don't know, is this glue making it expand or something? What's it doing? I'm going to pull this back a bit. And I'm gambling it's still the right length, because it seems to have developed a whole bunch of excess here. Look at that. I cut this again? It's just been stretched because of, you know, I gotta take this elastic band off. I gotta see what's going on here. What's going on? Oh no, lots of gap. Now, can I do it without the elastic band at this point? Just put a little glue right on the end and try to make the end come up. Wow. I'm going to get my finger glued to this for sure. The cut end here, which has a point now because I cut it on an angle. That point, I must have pulled on it. The point has stretched and the cut end is now a slight curve. What if I try just holding it almost right in place and leaking the glue under it? That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hold this using my fingers like that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right under here. Run the risk of glue in my hand. Oh, I got glue on top. Glue on top. What do you do about that? Oh, son of a gun, I didn't think of everything, did I? Bad news. And glue. Ugh. Put my finger right on it. Okay, so I may become part of this record player now. I don't know. Oh my gosh, what have I done? Okay, I got off. That is really ugly looking. But you know, the actual joint's not bad. It's not beautifully lined up. I can trim off some of that excess and get rid of it. The question is, will it make a bump? Okay, let's put this back on. I got the right stretch and tension in here, that's for sure. Now to lock this belt in place, I just want to put some little dabs of the glue under it, here and there. How do I peel it away to get under it? Let's use my super cool hole, which I never used in the end. Go like that. Glue. Let's try up here. Talking tiny amounts here. Oh, my fingers are sticking together. I don't have to clamp it because the tension on the belt pulls it in nicely. I wonder if this is going to work. I'm going to have to make it work. One thing about this glue is it's so thin that it doesn't have any dimension under the rubber. Oh, stuck to the paper. There we are. I'll take a good close look at that. This is obviously a one-time use. I wonder what else it is in my house I need to glue. I should have a list of things all the time, things that need gluing. And every time you go to use glue, when you're done, you grab the list and run around. That'd be a great idea. Of course, I'm never ever going to do that. There we go. Presto. I think, oh yeah, we're going to take a close look at it. Let's take a close look at this. See what we ended up with. This is scary. Okay, let me focus in here. Oops. Okay, now for sure this isn't going to be perfect. Oh, that joint looks horrible. Yeah, look at it closely. That's got a bit of a bump to it. I'm looking right here where the joint is. Whoops, right here. Now, whether that's significant in playing the player, see, there's another kind of a bumpy thing happening right in here. But you know, this just may not be enough to be any concern. Well, it looks a lot worse than I was hoping, though. I was hoping it all be beautifully lined up, but again, it doesn't really matter. It probably doesn't. What can we do about that? First of all, it looks terrible under a close-up view of a camera like that, but I think it actually isn't really all that bad when you view it this way. Hey, pretty good. Okay, it's not perfect, but what's moving here? Need more gluing. Really? Do we really need to put more glue in? Every time I glue this, there's a bit of a risk. Is there a large area not glued? You kind of see the... This looks like maybe I want to glue it all the way around. I don't know about that. Where'd that area go? Uh-oh. Oh. That's right. Did I throw that glue away? Was I a dummy? What did I do? Oh, here it is. 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 Don't touch it. Don't touch the outside. takes a teeny tiny amount here. Stuck into my finger. Said it had no dimension, but if you let it pool up, it does freeze up with a little bit of dimension. Hey, what's on my finger there? Well, no matter how well this worked, I guess I'm stuck with it. Okay, enough humor for this morning. All we got to do is put this on the record player and see if it works. And I bet it will. Oh, it looks terrible there in that picture, doesn't it? But believe me, it is really... How come it looks like it's coming off on the far side? Well, it's just that I have a little bit of alignment. Maybe I can trim that a little bit off. Don't get carried away. There we go. Oh, it looks terrible. It looks like I pulled it. And again, how it looks and how it works may be two quite different things. There, how's that? Well, it didn't come out as good as I hoped. Little tiny end piece there. Something to poke with. Yeah, see, if I put a little glue in there, I can push this piece in. Why would I worry about it? I think it's all going to peel away here. I have to dab a little glue and then do that. Maybe famous last words. That might heal up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get that stuff spread around there. Can't see what I'm doing now. Just bugger the whole thing up where it's perfect. Still looks liquid. Yeah, I think clearly the more you fool, the more fool you become. Okay, that's good. Just leave it like that. Like I said, next thing is we'll try it on the record player and see what we got. It's really kind of ugly looking, but you know, hey, first time doing that. We will see.